Hi everyone, this is Mindy and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of a video hop celebrating the latest release from Alex Syberia Designs. Before I get into my card, I will have links down below to the next person in the hop along with information about the giveaway, but what you want to do is leave a comment to enter in the big giveaway. The more comments you leave, the more chance you have to win. My card today is going to be featuring the brand new Chrysanthemum Stamp Set. So the stamp set has 4 pieces to layer for the flower and 3 for the leaves. And I love that they provide an example on the back in the packaging. So I just followed along with that, but it is very easy to figure out because they labeled it A1, A2, A3, and A4 for the layers of the flowers. Now I thought I would dig out my stamp wheel to do this, so I placed some cardstock down in the bottom left-hand corner, and I am placing my first image, this is A1, onto the wheel. I don't know the correct terminology for the stamp wheel, but what I'm going to be doing is for each layer, I am conditioning that stamp with the Versamark ink and then cleaning it off with the tidy towel because this is brand new. I have not used this stamp set before. I won't always show the Versamark step, but I do it for each one of the layers. Now this first color I'm stamping is Pink Lemonade from Concord and Ninth. All of the ink colors are from Concord and Ninth. They will be listed at the top of the screen and also down below in the video description. Now I placed the second layer down over my stamped image and picked it up with the stamp wheel, and I turned the wheel so that I have it picked up in a different part of my plate. So you can see the first layer is at the top there, the second layer I picked up down here. I inked this one up with carnation ink. And I'll be honest, at first when I was stamping these, I wasn't really thrilled with my color combination, but boy, when you add that final layer, that is where the pow happens. It's like magic what that fourth layer does to the image. Now this third layer is going to be Sweet Pea. So we are stepping up and intensifying these colors and these layers. I had turned the wheel once again, or the plate of my wheel, to pick it up with a different area. And what I actually do is off screen, I do go ahead, I leave everything in place and I stamp them all out. So I stamped about 3 of these flowers to kind of have some extra off on the side. So this is that fourth layer. Now it's kind of about here that I figured out I did not line this flower up correctly on the plate, because when I ink this up with dragon fruit and I go to place this down, some of my stamps are actually kind of hitting the outside edge of the stamp wheel. I just really wanted to try it because Altenew was generous enough to provide me with the stamp wheel. I just really need to learn how to use it, and I just don't use it enough. So it's totally operational error. It has nothing to do with the product. But because I wanted to be a little bit more comfortable, I dug out my Misty and I'm stamping the leaves with, once again, inks from Concord and Ninth. This first layer that I stamped in is Aqua Sky. Now the leaves also are layered on the stamp set sheet. I think it's B1, B2, and B3. So I just flip my cardstock so I can stamp 2 leaves in each place. And then I'll do these leaves a few more times as well. So now I'm coming in, I'm lining up the second layer of the leaf, and I'm stamping this one in Tide Pool. To be honest, I wanted to go with some more true blues than the teal color, but I didn't check my own swatches when I was looking at Aqua Sky, and it came out a little more teal than I had anticipated. So I just rolled with the punches and picked out Tide Pool and Juniper. So these all still came out amazing. It just wasn't what my intentions were. So at some point, I do want to try some like true blue leaves. I apologize if I seem a little out of sorts and a loss for words tonight when it comes to actually calling them by their name. I think I have an ear infection and it's just kind of hindering me a little bit. Now, after I have my images and my leaves stamped out, I'm going to line up the coordinating die using some satin masking tape to hold them in place. And then I'm going to run them through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cut machine. While I had the machine out and I had some scraps of cardstock sitting around, I went ahead and die cut extra pieces because I am going to be layering them. I really do like adding that stability behind all of my stamped images. So here are all my pieces all laid out. I don't use all of the flowers, but I like to have them as extra in case I want to do another card project. But those pinks really just stand out. So to layer my images together onto that plain white cardstock, I am just using some precision glue. It is a liquid glue, so it gives me a little bit of wiggle time to adjust it and make sure that they are lined up correctly. And then I'm just going to show you here quick. This is the cardstock I'm going to use for my background. It is a gray two-tone wood grain from Tim Holtz and Ranger. I think this was a specialty or a limited time cardstock. I'm going to link a couple options down below that may work for that as well. But I'm going to set that off on the side. My sentiment, I am using some black alcohol cardstock. Now this is, I want to say like the older version. It has more of a matte finish. It's not the newer one that is meant for alcohol inks. This is the previous version that they have. So I'm using that to die cut out this Thanks. Now this cardstock it really does kind of have that matte finish or like a velvety look to it. It is really, really pretty, but I would recommend using it with a word die that has more to it, where you can feel it and see it a little bit more. This is a very, very delicate and whimsical sentiment, which I do absolutely love. You're just kind of missing that matte cardstock feel and look. So I layered that together and then added it to a white shadow. I'm going to just set that off on the side with something heavy to let that sit. And now I'm playing with the design. So what I like to do, yes, I know there's press and seal, which I've used on occasion to pick up my design once it's kind of in a nice finalized place. But my preferred method really is to just leave it all there and then add little bits of glue and tuck things back in. This gives me a little bit more wiggle room if I want to change the direction of the leaves or the flowers. I feel like I have more control this way where I can kind of shift things around. So press and seal, definitely an option. This is just kind of my go-to. I originally wanted to do just 3 leaves on my card to keep it in that odd numbers, kind of like embellishments, but I felt like something was missing towards the top, so I'm going to bring in that extra leaf that I stamped out. I really like to have my flowers kind of cascading, almost starting on one end and working my way down to the other, so diagonally. And then I prefer to have my sentiment kind of more on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead. I already added my wood grain cardstock to a white panel that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And since I already have layers to my flowers, I'm just adding some strong adhesive to the back of this bundle and adding that right to the front of the card. Now the Thanks kind of hung out a little bit longer than I preferred. I really wanted my sentiment to be tucked over on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to trim that off. Nobody is ever going to know. So once I do that, I can add some of this liquid glue to the back and add that down on top of my flowers. The last thing I'm going to do is just bring in some Angel Aura rhinestones, which are from Gina K Designs. I like to place them in a triangle tray and then just kind of pick them up and arrange them on the front of the card. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'll bring in a dot of that Connect glue in a fine tip bottle and pick those up with my, I think it's a pick and stick tool, and place those down. So that is going to finish up my card project that I just kind of mumbled through because my head is just all garbled right now. So I really do apologize for that. But I hope you enjoyed today's card project. Definitely check out this stamp set. Alex Syberia Designs really does have some amazing products, and I love working with them. Once again, leave comments to be entered into the giveaway. All of that information will be down below in the video description and on my blog, and the link to the next person in the hop will be listed down below. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again real soon.